So today we will discuss the concept of information views or information models. So they are called as information information views or information models. So we are having different kinds of information views or information models. So the first one is the attribute view. Second one is the analytic view. Third one is the calculation view. So with the help of these views, we can develop a complex report. We can, like in our traditional ERP systems, whenever we have to create a report fetching the data from different tables, what we will do is like we have to fetch the data from each and every table. This is the traditional ERP system, right? In traditional ERP systems, whenever we have to create a report fetching the data from, let's say, some 4 to 5 different tables, first we have to fetch the data from the different tables, and then we have to create one another first we have to declare 5 different internal tables. Again, we have to declare another internal table for displaying all the fields in the output. Again, we have to read the data from one by one internal table into the final internal table, and then only we can display the final output, right? So we will be doing all of these steps. So minimum, like suppose if you want to fetch the data from 4 different tables, minimum 100 lines of code we have to write in traditional ERP systems. But in S4 HANA, with the help of these views, we can generate the reports very easily. So let us see how these attribute views, analytic views, and calculation views work. So first we will discuss the concept of attribute view. So attribute view. So attribute views can be created by by taking data from one or more tables. The attribute shows relationship. The attribute shows relationships between the attribute the attribute shows relationships between different attributes in the tables, right? So the attributes can be, first of all, what are the attributes? The attributes can be, it can be a customer, it can be a region, any field can be a attribute, right? So any field in the sense like customers, region, like product, periods, all of these are called as attributes, right, etc. So joins can be made between two master data tables, a text table, and a So we can join two different master data tables, or we can also join a text table and a master data table. So it can be any combination, right? So there is another keyword that we'll be using a lot whenever we are working with the views, information views or information models. So attributes are nothing but like a customer ID, a region, product, material. All of these comes under attributes. But there is another word called measures. So what are measures? Measures are
Miss,
something that
what is a text table?
text table. Examples of text tables are like T005T. So example of text table is our standard table. Text table, example of text table is like T005T. That is called as the text table because it contains the text of the countries, the country descriptions, right? So there are some text tables. So they are called that type of tables are called as the text tables. So there is another keyword we should be aware of, that is called as measures. So measures are something these can be measured. Yeah, these can be measured. Examples are quantity, net price, right? Quantity, net price, discount. So all of these are considered as the measures. So they can be measured. So 100 quantity or 1,000 rupees net price or 5% discount, right? So all of these kind of fields are called as the measures. So that means these can be measured. Whereas attributes are like customer ID, region, product, period, material, sales order. All of these comes under they come under the category of attributes. Whereas measures are these can be measured, measurable things like quantities, net price, discounts, that kind of fields, right? So for our example, let us see how we can create a attribute view. So for our example, we will try to take two different tables and we will try to join them. So for our example, we will try to take the two different tables like T001 and T005T. So we will join these two tables. And one more important thing, what is the difference between a join and union? Any idea? What is the difference between a join and union? For example, we have two different sets. We have two different sets. This is set A, and then we have I'm very bad at drawings. Let me try again. Okay, this is set A and this is set B. So, so this is set A and this is set B. So when we join and we are having, let's say for example, we are having 1, 2, 3 in set A. And then we have 2, 3, 4 in set B. So when we join set A and set B, what is the result? Can anybody guess?
2.
Okay,
2,
2, 3. That means whatever is common in both of them, that will come under the join. When we join them, that means something that is common in both the sets. So based on that common things only we can join, and they are nothing but 2, 3. And can you guess what is the result of union?
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. That means all from set A and all from set B.
Yes.
Is the result of union.
Yeah.
So when we want to join two different tables, there has to be Mandatory requirement is like there has to be some common field, at least one common field between the two different tables when we want to join them. But when we want to union them, there need not be any common field. All from set A and all from set B, and total will be the result of the union. So that is the difference between a union and a join. So so here, when we are trying to join two different tables, that means there has to be some common field between the two different tables. So we have to make sure whenever we are trying to join two different tables, there has to be some common field in both the two different tables. So that is the mandatory requirement to join two tables or two sets or whatever it is, right? So what is the common field? Common field is the land one, country key. Country key is the common field in both of these two tables. And whenever we are trying to join this is the master data table. This is the master data table. And this is the text table. Text table. So attribute views can be in the attribute views, we can join two different master tables, or we can join one master data table and one text table. So, and whenever we are trying to join a master data table with the text table, what kind of join we will be using? We will be using the text join. So the join we will be using is the text join. So we will use the text join. So there are different kinds of joins. So in this case, we will use the text join. So let us see how we can, if you want to write a traditional ABAP program to fetch the data, to join the two different tables, and and to display the data from two different tables as an output, we have to write minimum some 40 to 30 to 40 lines of code, right? So let's see how we are going to do that in our HANA Studio. So
Actually, I have a doubt.
yeah, go.
Can you just open that document? Paint.
Yeah.
So in that first square, you can see T001, right?
T001. T001 is
Is it
the
a text table or a master table?
this is the master data table.
T001 is a text table.
T001 is the master data table for companies related information. Company master data table. Company info. You will find all the company's info in the master table T001.
Because I thought the table, this table which starts with T is text table.
No. Please don't assume like that. T001 is the master data table for companies related information, and T005T is the text table, right? And please don't assume that because it is starting with T, that is a text table. It is not like that. Okay. So let's try to let us try to open our HANA Studio. So let me open the HANA Studio. And in the projects, whenever you are working in S4 HANA project, they will mention the schema. So this is the schema you have to use. So whatever the schema they give us, from that schema, we will have to fetch the tables or take the tables from that schema, and we'll have to use that schema, right? So for this particular project, this is the schema you have to use, and the tables in that particular schema, these are the tables. So like that, they will mention whatever the schema they give, we'll be using that schema, right? So so this is our package. So we have filtered our package here. So this is our package Z training 29. And one more thing you have to remember, whenever you are trying to create, it will not take the same name. Suppose if you are trying to create a package, you have to give a different name. So if a name like, for example, Z training 29 is already existing, And if you are trying to again create a package with the same name, it will not accept, because it is it considers it as duplicate, right? So that is one thing we have to remember. So this is our package. Select the package, right click, select new, and here we have so many options. We have the option to create a package, attribute view, analytic view, calculation view, analytic privilege, right, procedure, addition table. So we will be discussing all of these. So first we'll start off with the attribute view. So select the attribute view, and the name of our attribute view, let us give the name of our attribute view as and one more important point we discussed yesterday is like our custom developments, they don't have to start either with a y or z, right? So we can use any name other than y or z. So let us name our because we are planning to join our T001 is company related information, and T005T is the company's text related table. So let us name our attribute view as company, let's say some 33. So this is the name of our attribute view, right? Sometimes what you can do is like, because it is an attribute view, as soon as somebody look at our view, they can understand if you give AT underscore. Again, it's up to you. There is no standard convention. Again, whenever you are working in any S4 HANA project, whatever the naming conventions they are using, you have to refer to those naming conventions, and you have to follow those naming conventions. So it's up to you. So AT stands for attribute view here, right? Or you can simply give company 33 or whatever it is. You can give any name. There is no any hard and fast rule. um, um, that name is again all the custom developments have to start either with a y or z, like our traditional ERP systems. So this is the name of our attribute view. And label, for label, if you want, you can give some custom description, but by default, whatever the name you give, by default, it will take that for label also. But if you are not happy with that, you can give your own custom description. So this is the attribute view, something like that. You can give your own label, right? And this is the package. It is already automatically taking the package, our package, and view type is the attribute view, and it is the standard type of attribute view, and select the finish button. So here, whenever we are trying to create the information views or information models, we see two things here. This is called as the scenario pane, and this is called as the details section. So this is the scenario section or scenario pane. This is called as the details pane or details section. So here again, under the scenario, we have two things. One is the semantics, and the other one is the data foundation. And here after the data foundation, if you observe, there is a plus button here. So whatever the tables we want to use, we have to add those tables here in the data foundation. So select the plus button. Whatever the table you want to add, you can give that table name here, T001. So and this table T001 is appearing in all these schemas, right? So you can go ahead and you can try to use whatever the schema you want. You can select the table. Um, you can give that table, right? So let us see. We'll try to um, pick them from the table. So we'll try to pick it from this table best, right? So let me select this table and select the OK button. So this is the table. And let me check whether data is there in this table. So there has to be data. That is important thing. In projects, we don't have to worry about the data, because definitely data will be there. But because these are training sessions, we have to make sure whether data is there or not, right? So select the table, right click, and then data preview. So let us check whether data is available in this table or not. And once we are here, You can go to the, you can scroll up and you can check the raw data here, raw data. And this table doesn't have any data, so we cannot use this table. So let us try to remove this table. Again, right click and remove, because we need to have the table that has data in it. So let us try table from a different schema. So T001. Let us try this and see whether it is having data. So this is the problem with the training servers. But this table doesn't have the field land one. Land one is not there in this table, so we cannot use this. So let's try to remove it. So in the projects, we won't have this kind of problems. So we whatever the tables we require, everything will be there, and definitely data also will be there, right? So let us check another table. Let us check another table and see whether it is having data. Okay, all of these are having, we don't have that. Okay, so but if data is there, let us see if data is there. Okay, data is there in this table. Okay.
Not
I'm trying to see a table that has, okay, let us do one thing. I can do another thing also. We will try to take different table here. Instead of T001, have you heard of KNA1 table?
Yes, customer.
Correct. Customer master table. Yeah, customer master table. So let us take customer master table. Instead of T001, let us try to take KNA1. KNA1 is the customer master table. So we will try to join our KNA1 with T005T, right? So, so let us check for KNA1 and let us see. Okay, this is there in the schema. So let us take this table and let us also check for the data first, data preview, whether data is there in this table. So data is there, right? So we can use this table. So,
Miss, I have a doubt.
yeah, go ahead.
Whether these schemas are standard ones or the custom ones we are creating. Schemas can be standard ones, right? In when we use in S4 HANA projects.
Correct. So when we use in S4 HANA project, they will already, they will create a custom schema, but they will make sure that all the tables are there in that particular custom schema. So here we have created this Z training 29, right? But the data migration team, what they will do, they will create one schema and they will put all the required SAP tables in that particular schema. So we don't have to search like this in the projects. Whatever table we want, we can directly take it from that schema. So,
Okay.
so and that will be a custom schema only. They will create one custom schema, and in that custom schema, they will put all the standard tables.
Okay.
So we don't have to worry about the data and all in the in our projects.
Okay.
In the but because this is training server, sometimes there will be data issues, sometimes there will be tables, but there won't be data in it. So we will face all different kinds of challenges in this training server. But whereas in our at work, we will not have all these problems.
Okay. Even the customer tables can be added to the schemas, right?
Yes. You can add standard tables or you can also add custom tables. You can add anything to a schema, any kind of table.
Okay.
There are no restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
So let us try to add one more table. Select the plus button and then let us try to add T005T. And T005T is in the best table. So it is already there. So again, let us check for the data. Select the data preview and go for the raw data. So data is there. So this is the field Landex. So Landex, it is showing, I think this is some Japan or something, right? So Landex will give the country key text of that particular country. So first, so these are the steps. So whenever we want to create a attribute view, these are the steps. So the steps we are going to follow is select the required tables. Select the required tables. So we have selected the required tables. Next step is select the required fields from the tables. And then third step is join the tables. Join the tables. Fourth step is select the join the tables. Select the primary key field. At least minimum one primary key field have to be there in the views. Information models are information views.
Okay.
And then activate the view. And then display the output. So these are the steps we are going to do now, right? So we have select the required tables. So we have selected the required tables. KNA1 and T005T. Select the required fields from the tables. So let's do that. So select the required fields, again, depending on the requirement. Whatever the fields they want us to select, we can select them. And here, if you observe, when I'm selecting these radio buttons, the fields are appearing here one by one, right? And again, depending on the requirement, whatever the fields they want to have, you can go ahead and you can select those fields. And one more important thing we have to remember is, so in this table, we have land1. Again, in this table also, we have land1. So you don't have to select the common field twice. So here you don't have to select the land1 again. So all you have to do is like, we want to have landex, that is the country name field from this table. So whatever the fields you want to have from this table, we can select them. Whatever the fields you want to have from the next table, we can select them. But make sure that whatever the common field we have, that we should not select twice. Because we have already selected land1 in this table, we don't have to again select it here in the second table. That is already selected. But join, instead of selecting, we can join that field, right? So we are joining these two tables based on the common field, and that common field is nothing but the land1. So we are joining our land1, drag and drop the land1 and join the land1 to the second table, right? So we have selected the tables. First step done. Select the required fields, done. Join the tables, done, right? And then fourth step is to select the primary key. So if you go to the semantics, these are the fields we have selected. And here we want to have Kunnar, customer number, as the main key or the primary key. So we can select the Kunnar here. So this is our primary key, right? And here, if you observe, there is this symbol here. So this symbol means attributes. For attributes, this is the symbol. Here, if you observe, all of these are attributes. Kunnar, name one, name, city, country key, region, landex, that is the country name. All of these are the examples of attributes field. This is the symbol for attribute, right? So we have selected the main key or the primary key. And once you are done, again, you can go to the data foundation. So these are the tables we have selected. We have selected the required fields. And one more thing you can do, suppose if you want to rearrange the sequence of these fields, there is this up, down arrows, right? So suppose you want to have land X next to land 1, for example. Then you can select that field, land X field, and there is move up.
Okay.
So it will move up. So if you want, you can rearrange these fields however you want, right? So all these things you can do, and then go ahead and try to, there is this green small arrow, save and activate. So go ahead and try to save and activate our model, save and activate. And here randomly you can select any change number, because we will discuss about them in our going forward classes. For now, whatever number you want, you can randomly select one change, right? Or assign objects to a change. So you can select any one of them and select the finish button.
Okay.
So here we got the message, activation completed successfully. So once you get that message, there is this button here called data preview. So you can select that button, data preview. And you can go to the raw data. So this is the data. So this is the land X, this is the field from our second T005T table. So for US, it will give the full form United States, right? So this is something, whatever the values that are there corresponding to that field in the T005T table, it will display that field, right?
Yes.
So here, if you observe, one more thing I want to show you is there is this button called show log. If you select that show log, in the background, what is happening? In the background, when we are trying to create this view, in the background, what is happening? So in the background, some SQL steps are performed by the S4 HANA system. So here with the time and everything, it is showing. And here, if you observe, 265 milliseconds to processing time to process, right? And it has created 200 rows. So for 200 rows, it has taken only 16 milliseconds. So it is taking very less time to create, to process the records. So here in the show log, you can see what are all the things that is happening in the background, how the S4 HANA is converting our actions in the behind. You can check all started query execution, generated SQL. So it is fetching all these fields, right? From this, this is the package name and this is our view name, right? Server processing time, 262 milliseconds. Row created rows 200 from results at 16 milliseconds. That means it is taking very less time, right? And one more thing I want to show you. Suppose you want to, this is the text field, right? So now they are displaying in this language. Suppose you want to change the language and you want to see this output in, let's say, some French language, for example. You can also do that. So how you can do is, you can go to, let me close this and go to semantics. Okay. Okay, not semantics. You can go here. You can go to the HDB, HANA database, right click the HDB, and you can go to the properties, and you can go to additional properties. And here, see, local language is English. So automatically it is giving the output in English language. Let's say, for example, I want to switch the local language to French. So I am changing the local language to French. That means our system logon language, I am changing it to French. Apply and close. So now again, try to activate save and activate our model. Why? Because we have changed the Okay, redeploy, yes, right? So again, I have activated. Now, if we go and try to again check the data preview, and if you go to the raw data, so the language, it should be changed to French. So for some fields, it is changed, right? So like that, you can, here actually, we are not able to see much result, but for some tables, you can see a lot of difference. Again, it all depends on the data, how the data is in those tables, right?
Here
So
we can't do that because USA in English and French, it's only USA.
USA, yeah. So here, suppose if you want to fetch the records, so maximum rows of records, how many you want to fetch, you can, by default it will set to 200, but here I am changing it to 800, right? So if you do that, again, let me refresh. Now it will pick up 800 records. So like this, you can also change the number of records you want to fetch, right? And there is this refresh button here, small refresh button. So once you refresh, it will take that many number of records or rows, right? So all of these converting from one language to another language, all of these, it becomes very, very easy and flexible, right?
Mhm.
So
Okay.
this is about the views. How much time we have? 2 minutes, right? Okay. So um, tomorrow we will try to take another example, and we will try to join, like let's say we'll try to take some 4 different tables, and we also have other kind of joins, like inner join, text join, we have already discussed today, right? So we'll try to take 4 different tables in tomorrow's class. We'll take another example, and we'll try to use inner join as well as text join, and then we will, once we create the view, we will compare how much of coding we have, we have minimized with the help of these views. And so we will discuss all those things in tomorrow class.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I will give a quick recap of what we did today. So we started discussing about the information views or information model, and we have different kinds of views: attribute view, analytic view, and calculation view. And the attribute view is nothing but we can take data from one or more tables. The attribute shows relationship between different attributes, and attributes can be customer, region, product, material, sales order, anything. All of these comes under the attributes. And we have also in the information view or information model, we have also seen the symbol of attribute view, attributes, right? And joins can be made between 2 different master data tables, or between a master data table and a text table. Here we have taken the example of text table as T005T, and we have taken the master data table KNA1, and we try to create the attribute view. And these are the steps we have followed. The total 6 steps are there to create the attribute view.